You are here for the third celebration of the third Singapore Advocacy Awards. I'd like to welcome a few people. Unfortunately, William, who had been our patron and been very supportive of this process, is unable to be here, but Lena is here. Thank you, Lena. And representatives of the various organizations. I remember the first networking dinner we had was when we invited presidents of all the organizations. And some of them came up to me and they were so grateful to be included because they say, nobody ever remembers us. So one of the processes of these 3 years of work was to remember everybody who is doing some work in the ground. And I'm glad to have had the opportunity to do that. So welcome also all those people we honored in the last 2 years. Thank you very much for your support. So this moment, every year we celebrate civil society activism, civil society activists, the friendship and support we give each other. We celebrate civil society advocacy and its achievements in Singapore and to affirm the role of civil society activists in the shaping of our society, especially in advancing democratic values. For this to happen, there must be space for varying visions of the future, for vigorous debate of these different approaches, and for continued discussion after a decision has been made and public policies put in place. This participation by citizens is a crucial element of democracy. Having said that, I want to tell you a little bit more about what we at TWC3 have been doing during the course of the 3 years. The finale each year is the award. But through the 3 years, we had hosted a debate, 2 public lectures, one about freedom of expression. The speaker was Cherry and George, and there was a panel discussion following that. This year we had Daniel go. By the way, we were stretching OB markers when we invited Daniel to be the speaker, speaking about multiculturalism. These series of lectures and discussions were part of our public education program. We also hosted a series of networking dinners at my house. And through these dinners, I must have met, and as did members of TWC3, more than about 100 activists who we wouldn't have got to know otherwise. At these dinners and discussions, I have been inspired by the many young people who take the initiative to start projects, to advocate for causes, especially causes that affect marginalized communities. It is just amazing the work that is being done on the ground. In the last few years, I have also seen very positive attempts to mobilize members of civil society to come together for a common cause, such as the Arts Collective, Apa Itu Civil Society, Community Action Network. These individuals who initiate and lead these groups suspend their own parochial interests and areas of their work for the greater good of civil society. I'd like to applaud them now, please. And I'd like to say something about the pioneers. Those who pioneered this kind of mobilization for the common good in the earlier years, like TWC1, the first civil society conference in 1999, TWC2, are still working, sacrificing their time and resources to the cause of a more active civil society. I stand in awe and I'm filled with respect and admiration for those who are committed to their cause and persist among immense odds to continue their work in civil society. People like William Lim, Tay Keng Soon, and Ho Hua Chu, who we are honoring today, are the veterans of more than 40 years of civil society activism, and they have not stopped. This is commitment. Others like Russell Heng, Alex Au, Sean Lam, Brema Mathi, Corina Lim, Jolivin, Margaret Thomas form the next generation of committed civil society activists. And they have remained active. There are many more people, and they will find their places in the history books of civil society. The important characteristics of these organizations and individuals, and those we are honoring today, are what makes civil society socially civil and effective advocates. You young people, and I saw so many of you, and I see them also at the various public lectures that we have hosted. You young people are the next generation. What will your story be? The last few weeks of discussion and debate about the Administration of Justice Protection Bill have illustrated a civil society engaged and united in active and rigorous advocacy work, both outside and inside Parliament. That is a very encouraging sign. The fact that it had little impact on persuading government to take into account civil society concerns just means that we have to keep supporting those in Parliament who are trying their best to speak for us, that we have to empower, celebrate, and acknowledge the works of those who are in the forefront of advocacy work under very difficult and trying circumstances, that there are different paths to take in achieving civil society aims, that we have to keep empowering, keep educating, keep raising awareness of and our understanding of existing legislation and legal process that impinge on our civil liberties. I was disappointed, like many of you, and I don't know why I was disappointed. I know for certain that the reality of Singapore is that power rests with government, and this is not a government that takes into account people's concerns. I can also understand the circumstances that led to the vote and the position of the three NMPs. We have to acknowledge that they put in a good fight, and I would like to applaud that. I do have one reservation about dependence on promises and assurances of one minister. Ministers change, circumstances change, but the legislation remains in the books. It is a draconian law, always was. So as Kirsten pointed out, and we had known that, why didn't we do something about that? Why are we always reactive and not proactive? And this is the question that all those who are criticizing the NMPs after the fact should be asking. Why didn't you do something? I am a little irritated with all those people who are constantly finding faults and criticizing. For heaven's sake, you have fine intellect. You are articulate. You have social media at your hands. You can be analytical. Why are you wasting your energy being negative? Kirsten, I congratulate you on that excellent article, Power and Civil Society in Singapore. It is thoughtful, well analyzed, and raises many issues and questions. Thank you also. Thank you for that. Thank you also, Kokila, who had the courage to say something we all had, at least some of us had wanted to say. You're two amazing young women, and I'm proud to know you both. I repeat what I said last year. Part of how we are going to thrive in this imperfect moment, in this imperfect country, is through fierce hope and generous hearts. I hope someday the state will also embrace the spirit of civil society, the spirit that has been so enriching for me personally, the spirit of respect for each other, the suspension of differences, and the willingness to listen and believe that it is possible to work together for a better Singapore. So now, back to the event at hand. Singapore Advocacy Awards tries each year to highlight the best examples of advocacy work for following their conviction with courage, for having an impact on society, and so empowering other activists to follow in their steps. We received 15 nominations this year, 5 more than previous years, 7 for Advocate of the Year, 2 for Promising Advocate of the Year, and 6 for Organization of the Year. In the spirit of transparency, I shall name the 15, and also I think every one of them deserve to be awarded and celebrated. The very fact that they have been nominated is a reflection of how much they are respected for the work they do. So under the individual category, the nominations were Farid Hamid, Terry Zhu, Jason Su, Kirsten Han, Ho Hua Chu, John Gee, June Chua, and Vanessa Ho. Organizations, Left, Right, Center, Home, Drama Box, Necessary Stage, TWC3 Cuff Road Project, and Art Salute. Now what I have left to do is to thank a whole lot of people. Firstly, apa itu, civil society, and the others who have made this celebration possible. You have given your moral support and financial support generously for us to carry on this work for the 3 years that we promised we would do. I want to thank the panel of judges whose deliberations and discussions have been fair, open, and honest. And on behalf of TWC3, I thank the judges. They were Kanwajit Soin, Peter Low, Sean Lam, Tan Tat Si, and me. Somebody referred to us as the elitists of civil society. I don't mind that. We have been around for a very, very, very long time and have been tested and tested severely. Yes. I would like to thank members of TWC3 and the nomination committee. These were part of the shortlist part of the group that shortlisted. Catherine Lim, Maggie Thomas, Jagjit Singh, Rachel Zeng, Lane Ho, Imran Taib, Yo Yang Fa, Yap Ching Hui, Tat Si, and Ya Yen Chong. They had the extremely difficult task of shortlisting the nominations. And for the others, thank you, Catherine, for organizing this event. And thank you, Ching Wei and Desiree, for helping out. Maggie Thomas for writing the citations. Jasmine for once again videoing those we are honoring today, and we will watch. And finally, Dana Lam, who designed this year's tokens. Not just designed, but have donated her artistic creations. As you have seen, Dana, thank you so much. And finally, this is the last event of a pilot project, which we started in 2014, and my final year leading the project. So we are looking for somebody who will take over. The committee is prepared to go on working and supporting, but I do want to retire. I'm looking forward to a group of individuals or a coalition of civil society organizations who will come forward to carry on with the awards, because everybody tells me that this is a worthwhile enterprise. And I don't know whether they're telling me so I can carry on doing the work, but I'm not going to carry on. This is it. So you have to take over. Thank you all very, very much. It has been a very interesting and inspiring journey. And now for the important part of this evening, I hand you over to Catherine. Thank you.